Welcome back to the VET S.O.S podcast brought to you by the Who You Know Network. Remember, don't drown the sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S lifeline. VET S.O.S, let me try getting the name right this morning, is a proud member of the Parade Deck community. We can also now be heard on Reese Across America Radio on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. You can find Reese Across America Radio on the iHeartRadio app, the Odyssey app, and the TuneIn app. Find the channel by searching the word Reese. Today, we are joined by Kimberly Pickens from Camel Court Reno in Northern Nevada Veteran Block Party. This is going to be a fun one. I'm telling you, Keith, you need to buckle up for this one. We're here with special co-host Keith Cassant, sitting in for Eric, who's out on a mission. How you doing today, Keith?
I am living the dreams always. It's great to be here and honored once again to be filling in for Eric. So looking forward to this one, especially.
Outstanding. This is going to be fun. Kimberly has a ton of energy, so she's going to keep us all on our toes today, I bet. So let's jump right into it. We got Kimberly is an OIF Air Force veteran, and at the ripe old age of 41, an incoming member of the Nevada Air National Guard. And that was not my writing. I wouldn't call out the age. Just reading what's on the page. She studied biology at Truckee Meadows Community College, the University of Nevada, Reno, and is currently pursuing a bachelor's in sociology through the American Military University. Beyond her duties as an outreach specialist and veteran liaison with the New Dawn Treatment Centers, Kimberly is deeply involved in supporting her fellow veterans. As a Nevada veteran advocate and a Camel Court Reno mentor, she provides invaluable guidance and assistance to veterans living in her community and is on a team of dedicated supporters providing a second chance for current and prior military members who have been arrested for misdemeanors like drunk driving or domestic violence, aiding them to become more successful in their active duty and veteran lives. Now, I know I've probably mispronounced at least one word this morning so far, so you can call me out on it, but we're so happy you're here today. Kimberly, how are you doing today?
I'm doing so great. Thank you so much for having me. And yes, it's Nevada. But it's okay. You're not the only one that messes it up.
Nevada sounds more cultured. It's like Nevada.
It does. You know? Yes, but we're not cultured. It's Nevada.
Now, I screw up a lot of names. That was one I didn't think I was going to screw up. I'll tell you that right now. But all right, so I'll work on that one, and I got to start doing my voice exercises in the mirror in the morning, I guess, and so I can work the whole thing out. All right, so you're Iraq and Afghanistan veteran. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your transition? My goodness, I need to do voice exercises. I can't talk today. Tell us about your transition story.
Absolutely. So I only did one enlistment. It was in Germany in Spangdahlem. And when I got out, I was going to stay in Germany. My previous husband was about 6 months behind me as far as enlistment. And so I did my transition there at Spangdahlem Air Force Base. And it was a 2-day class. This was in 2003, the end of 2003. So it had really just taken off. There was a bunch of resources available, and I think they did a pretty good job. I feel like being in another country probably wasn't the best place to do a transition, but once we got back to the States, he did his transition from Arizona, and so I got some of that information when he was transitioning that helped me. But I feel like there should be an additional transition course, maybe like 5 years out, 10 years out, 15 years out.
I like it.
Yeah, because I find veterans all the time, one, that don't identify as veterans, and two, that have no idea of the benefits and resources available to them. So maybe that's something I should add to my list.
Preach it, sister. Preach it.
Yeah.
Man, that's just since we've already talked about age, I'm just going to throw it out there that I enlisted in 2003 as you were transitioning out. But that's
really.
Granted, I came in at 28 though. Okay, so I wasn't just 18.
Okay.
I was going to say because I was in Kosovo. Okay, like come on now. Like boots on ground, Kosovo was rocking.
I was in basic when we invaded Iraq, and it made me laugh through basic and AIT because I was in with a lot of guard people and like, I'm just here for the college money. I'm like, you did eventually.
Exactly. Yep.
There's some other things you're going to do in the meantime, but yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I was in Germany coincidentally when we invaded Iraq. So yeah.
That was my first tour. It was Germany. It's fantastic over there. But I agree with you. And I've heard horror stories about trying to transition from overseas. It's like the lost frontier, if you will, where we kind of rely on the TAPS program that's there. A lot of the organizations out there are some that are starting to reach out overseas. I know Military Transition Roundtable has done a couple overseas sessions. I think V2I has done a couple networking events based on overseas time I can't talk today. I'm just going to mute my mic. It's all you, Keith. Wow. Okay, but I really like that idea, Keith, about, like a 5, 10, 15, sort of getting your mind thinking about, hey, you got, halfway through your career, what's next, and start thinking down those lines.
Yeah, well, I think, first of all, Kimberly is the first person that I've ever heard the word good job when talking about the transition program, especially back in 2003, because I went through something like the Army called it ACAP back then in 2001 when I was coming up on my 4 years. I was going to do 4 and out, and I even went through ACAP. Yeah, that was not preparing me. That's why I actually re-enlisted. I'm like, I'm not ready to get out. I'm not prepared for anything outside of the military. So
yeah, that's kind of why I was just absorbing everything that I could. I was pregnant. I had no idea what was coming. Like it just.
We'll just throw the pregnancy part on top of it, too.
Right?
No big deal.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Oh man! All right, so let's start with the. I lost my page here.
Okay.
The New Dawn treatment centers. Let's a little bit about that. I know we're going to talk about the camel court and the block party because I can't wait to hear about the block party. But what kind of work are you doing here with the New Dawn treatment centers?
So I am the outreach and veteran liaison. So we are a community care partner with our local VA here. And any veteran that is suffering from substance abuse or is homeless and they find out that they're also using substances, they'll put in a referral and send them our way. And we really start to break down everything that's causing them to use substances. In most cases, it's PTSD or TBI related. So we really work with our fellow veterans and get to the root cause and really start treatment planning and figuring out who we need to connect them with so that we can provide wraparound services so they don't get lost in the VA system and really just get them back on their feet and happy.
I love that. It's such an important thing, Keith. I mean, we're seeing this more and more, I think, in especially state level.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. With substance abuse actually being something near and dear to my heart. Yeah. So I am curious, is the New Dawn Center, is that a VA run facility or is that like just it's a standalone and you just assist with that?
Yeah, we are a family-run corporation. So our CEO's mother actually started the company in 1987.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Everybody leaving Fort Irwin depressed.
Right.
Be a big pool of people right there. I've never heard anybody excited to go to Fort Irwin.
Now, I'm assuming it's in treatment. Is there a certain timeline? Do you do just the needs of the individual, or is it kind of a set like 30, 60, 90-day treatment center or?
Yeah, so we treatment plan with the individual, figure out what's going to work best for them. Oftentimes we are at the whims of the insurance companies or at the VA. So we try to do our best to get in as much treatment as possible within that time frame. Most of the time at the VA, they authorize 45 to 90 days, which is fantastic. So we really get a good foundation going before we transfer them back to the VA for additional services. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So for anybody listening, I don't know, just if I make I'll make the pitch. Like,
Yeah.
the stigma in the military is you're weak if you ask for help, and I would argue it's the exact opposite. It takes so much strength to ask for help, and so show that you're strong. Go get the help. It's you'll be so glad you did. I'm not shy about the stuff. The times I've gone out for help, I'm the one of the first to raise my hand. I got some issues. I need some help. So
we all got our issues.
exactly.
And I this is senior NCO. I mean, I cannot talk today. I'm just as a senior NCO, I use my examples of doing like anger management and things all the time with the soldiers.
Yeah.
To show them, especially being military intelligence, you got the added stigma of screwing up your clearance and what have you. And so, yeah, I concur completely, Keith. You need to go get the help.
Yeah.
Don't be scared to do it.
Absolutely. There are so many organizations that are community care partners that want to help.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are definitely not alone in this fight. So Camo Court Reno.
Yeah.
I love the veteran court idea. I didn't know anything about it until about 2 years ago. And I started learning about it and just fascinated by this concept and that we're running this. And it seems like more and more are popping up, which is great. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing with Camo Court Reno.
Yeah, absolutely. So here in Reno, it was actually started in 2018. We've had about 200 participants so far, and about 98 graduate successfully. We really utilize supervision from all of the court staff. So the judge, public defenders, we've got veteran justice officers, they're VJOs that are assigned to the VA that are really a social worker to help veterans coming through court connect with services, and really just, again, starting this foundation for veterans to continue to be successful. And it's a 12 to sometimes 24-month program, depending on the veteran. And they have to attend recovery support meetings, individual therapy, self-help classes, all to be able to stay in the program. And it's so amazing to see. I'm going to say guys because it's like 90% guys that come into the program. So to see these guys come in and they're angry and oftentimes high or drunk when they're getting sentenced, and at the end when they graduate and they just feel this relief, they're not carrying around this burden anymore. They've been able to talk it out and figure out how they can cope and get through life with everything that they've experienced and these struggles that they've had. It's so amazing, and there's not a dry eye at graduation.
That is awesome. And so you actually touched a little bit on what my follow-up was going to be, and that is that they're angry, drunk, high, when all this starts. During the course of this program, is there a point that you typically see like that switch to, oh my God, this is helping me, I'm going to be in a better place, versus I'm only doing this to get out of the trouble I'm in, or whatever the case is? Like, is there like a part there where it flips?
Yeah, so it's a little bit different with everybody. Sometimes it takes them a little bit longer to get on the
slow learners.
to get on the treatment train. But once they do, I mean, it's probably, sometimes it's a quarter into the program, sometimes it's halfway. It really just depends, but it doesn't matter because it's amazing when it happens. And they stand taller. It's almost like, they realize that I am still the same person that I was before the trauma, before everything, and maybe even better now. So it's so cool.
But look at how her face is beaming, Keith. I mean, you can tell how passionate she is about this. That's just amazing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and to see them grow, like even in the treatment center, I'm sure you see it there too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That while you're going through that treatment, there's just like that aha moment and that switch, if you will, flips, and they're just they have on a whole new outlook, especially as they stay clean and sober or whatever it might be, and they start to think clearer, and the growth is absolutely amazing. And I'm so happy that you get to work with these guys. And for me, I'm from New York. Guys is gender neutral. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, all that to say, so I'm actually curious, like, so, just even continuing like the success rate beyond, do you continue to track them or even maybe reach out to them if they start to find themselves possibly relapsing or anything like that? What does that look like?
Yeah, so we do have a coordinator who runs an alumni group, and she
Nice.
constantly reaches out to the alumni. She invites them back to court to sit in and support other veterans that are going through the program. They get to come to graduation, and we do, forced hugs. I like forced love. So, we stand up in a line, and all the veterans graduating go through the line, and we give forced hugs, and it's amazing. And the alumni get to be a part of that. And they even get invited back to be a mentor if they're
Nice.
still sober and doing good things. They can come back and support
I
their
love
fellow
that.
veterans and provide resources, and it's really,
That's
really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, that is so awesome.
Man, I love that, especially bringing them back as mentors. That's just phenomenal because they're going to continue to essentially get treatment as they're going through this process. They're helping other
Yes.
people, and
Yeah.
just phenomenal that you're able to build on that continued success.
Yeah.
Well, and it's been proven. So again, for anybody even listening, like, it's been proven when you're helping somebody else with their issues, it almost makes you more aware of your own, right? And you're more
Absolutely.
likely to stay sober. You're more likely to stay clean or whatever it is, and avoid those haunts and those whatever it might be that would otherwise possibly result in a relapse. So no, that's amazing that you offer them the opportunities to even come back and help mentor and stay involved, stay engaged. That's and it's so rewarding. Not only are you're rewarding yourself by staying clean or sober, but it's just, you get to see that growth of other people. And it's that's it. I love this program. I was unaware of it coming into this call today, but I'm already in love with it. I've never heard of this thing, but I love it. So.
Okay, so you have to do your research and find out if there are special courts in your area, because you would be a fantastic mentor.
Well, she's throwing down the challenge,
right?
That's right. I'm going to come back in 1 year.
Wow, she's
And
calling her shot too.
Shawn,
or she'll hunt me down at Mick, and if she's
That's
at
right.
Mick, and she'll
That's
hunt me down at Mick.
right.
Oh, I might look into it. Yeah.
Shawn
So-
is going to say Nevada next time, and Keith is going to be a Veterans Court mentor.
There you go.
I
Got
don't
my
know
mark.
that
Let
I'm
me
gonna
make
be
note of
staying
that.
in Nevada, but I am actually going to, with one of the nonprofits I work with here. We're actually getting ready to start up a veterans pod in the local county jail.
Oh, that's awesome.
They've reached out to us to actually be the ones to run it and set it up, and so that'll be something that we're involved with, which is awesome. We got a couple people that actually successfully went through a program like that in a different county, so we're gonna hopefully do some really good things and help some people with that.
Yes, that is so cool. So be ready, because you're going to need a list of resources. Even though you've got them up here, you have to have them written down. So that's another really cool thing with the Veterans Court program, is not only are we helping them get through the issues that they're having, but we're connecting them with the VSO. We are making sure that their disability claims are ready to go. It's amazing, and you're going to go through the same thing. I feel like if you're being exposed to those veterans in the prison, you're going to want to do everything you can to help them. So have your resource list ready.
Absolutely, that is awesome. And so before we jump into party time here, do you guys, like, as the Veterans Court, do they work with other veterans courts in the areas or cross state lines or anything like that, especially if someone happens to be from, Nevada or whatever? Is there any, I cannot talk for the life of me today. I can't think of words.
Nevada.
I got you.
You're in Florida. Let that Southern draw come out. Nevada.
There you go. So collaboration. We'll go with collaboration. Is there
Yes.
collaboration among courts?
Yes. So once you enter into a special court program, you generally have to stay where you are and complete that program. So oftentimes we have guys who are still on active duty and get in trouble and enter into Veterans Court. They have to stay in Veterans Court. So their assignment gets extended, or if they get separated, they have to stay in the area to complete the program. But if something happens, on special cases, usually, like we have one gentleman who got into physical therapy school. So we are going to transfer him to Las Vegas, where the physical therapy school is. And our judge is going to work with the judge down there to figure out the best course of action to keep him on track until he's completed the program. But there is nationwide specialty courts programs. There's even a conference that happened about a week and a half ago, and everyone gets together and shares resources and best practices. And I didn't get to go this year, unfortunately, but I heard it was amazing. And my counterpart who actually brought me in as a mentor, she brought me back all kinds of goodies and information. And so we're just going to make the program even better than it already is. But collaboration awesome. is definitely a big part of making everything successful, really.
That is great. And I'm so glad that they're able to do stuff like that. And I had no idea there was a conference. So that's phenomenal.
Yes.
Sharing any ideas. So let's jump into this party. Tell me about the Northern Nevada Veterans Block Party.
I know, it's a mouthful. It's a mouthful. I'm so sorry.
It doesn't even have like a good acronym.
I know.
NNVP.
But wait, there's more. So this really is the brainchild of some of my friends who all work in different veterans entities. So we have Nevada Department of Veterans Services. We have the outreach team from the VA. We have another treatment center who their person does the same thing that I do. So we're always around each other. Who else do we have? We've got different nonprofit veteran organizations, and we all came together to talk about where the gap is in our community for veterans. And we realized that it's the same as everywhere else. We have people who are siloed that are trying to do, 25 things, when if they really just did one thing really well and let another organization pick up the other thing, then it would be so much more successful. So we decided to bring everybody together and make a huge resource fair where all of these organizations can come together, share the information that they have, find out who's doing what and how they could really either piggyback off of that, or if you're doing something really well and I do this something really well, like how can we work together so that now we're providing both of those services at the best possible way possible. And I'm talking like you, Shawn. I'm throwing in words that
I was about to say.
I get so excited.
Say it louder for the people in the back. I mean, we got over 40,000 organizations. If everybody, started working together, and
yes,
45 plus.
45 no, add a one before that. There's 140,000, over 140,000 registered nonprofits with the IRS just for veterans. So the fact that, I mean, I call it the sea of goodwill, right? But it's an overwhelming sea, right? So having this resource to help folks navigate, because let's admit it, not all nonprofits are created equal, and not all of them necessarily even have the veterans' best heart or best interest at heart. Sorry, now I'm getting tongue tied. See, Shawn, it's a curse.
It's contagious.
It's contagious. Yeah. But having the ability to help folks navigate that sea, what we call the sea of transition, that's the VET S.O.S tagline, navigating don't drown in the sea of transition. But absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah,
And so
great.
we try to make it really fun. We have live music and potentially
Nice.
other entertainment in the years to come. But this year was our first big shebang, and some genius decided that May 4th was the day that we were going to do this. So let me tell you, gentlemen, that May 4th, historically in northern Nevada, it's still snowing. So
Oh,
I
this
thought
says
we were going the whole Star Wars way. I
right.
didn't
That's
even
what I
think
was
like,
thinking. Yeah.
that's what they were thinking. Like, of course, may the 4th be with you, but it was like, may you enter into this gauntlet of organizations and just be loved and overwhelmed with all of
Mm.
these things that you now know and can share. But anyway, so it didn't snow on the 4th, but we had winds up to 60 miles an hour.
oh,
It
man.
was freezing. We were all wearing parkas and laying across our resource tables so that things were not blowing away.
Ooh.
We had 489 people register, which for a first time event
Oh,
is pretty phenomenal. I mean, we can't as individual organizations, we can't get that many people to register. So that's how we knew that this collaboration was actually working. So we had 489 people register. We were told at times we had about 500 people on site actually collecting resources, but we were so busy trying to rein in all of the craziness that, we didn't actually get to count the people. But either way, we're counting it as a success, and we can't wait to do the next one.
that is awesome. Absolutely awesome. And you're hearing a little bit more about this kind of stuff too, Keith. I know like Vetlana's been doing something similar for a while.
Yep.
So it's great that, local organizations are coming together and doing it. And I know we got a couple things like that here in Jackson. I mean, I'd love to feel sorry about the 60-mile-per-hour wind and the freezing temperatures. The wind I can sympathize with out of hurricanes, but it's I can't really sympathize with snow anymore.
We're just glad it didn't snow.
So
Keith, it's that time, buddy.
Is it really? Oh my gosh, it is. Wow. Yeah. Well, time flies when you're having fun. So, yeah. Thank you so much, Kimberly. So, what's the best way for folks who might be interested in any of these three things, amazing programs that you're talking about? What's the best way for folks to reach out to you?
Yeah, so I'll just give my personal email because it's a little bit easier. It's just my last name, first name at yahoo.com. So Pickens Kimberly at yahoo.com. And our intent for the Northern Nevada Veterans Block Party is to make it a repeatable event for anyone in the nation or even internationally. So we hope to have that in place within the next couple of months that we can share with everyone. Yeah, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for letting me come on and talk about all the amazing things that our community is doing. And you guys are awesome.
Well, Keith, I'm thinking that we might have to do a live event at this block party.
Yeah,
we were mind melded on that one, absolutely. So yeah, no,
that's
that would be great.
Yes,
Yeah, that'd be an awesome one.
I'm hoping to do the next one as like a 2-day event, maybe like an Irreverent Warriors hike and then a resource fair and then like a kickball tournament, all kinds of crazy stuff. I think
that'd be awesome.
Fantastic.
Just move it to warmer weather.
Yes.
Well, I was going to say, we'll just make sure we come out at a warmer time of year, but I'm also from upstate New York, so not too hot. If we can find that nice happy medium. But this is great. Thank you so much for coming on with us today. And on behalf of the VET S.O.S family, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. And for all of you out there listening, please check with your local court systems and see, do they have a veteran court program near you that you can maybe even tie in with and support. But please be sure to check in with us and tune in with us next week because it's our 100th episode and the 2-year anniversary episode for the VET S.O.S. So, and as always, make sure you follow and subscribe to us on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms. And remember, don't drown in the sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S Lifeline.
Yes.